best. Just to give you a wee bit of overview, and I appreciate why principally Claire and Mark Mulhern have asked me to come along and talk to you today, is about the legislation that comes in February 2022. It's regarding linked smoke alarms, which should be fitted to all property to comply with the regulations. Obviously, with the COVID kicking in, it's been delayed, but this is something that certainly, from a fire service point of view, we are keen that everybody in the local communities has the correct protection in place. Just to give you a bit of background behind it, it's principally it's all came about since the tragic events in Grenfell 4 years ago, actually. And it's been put in place to try and provide early form of detection and protection for members in the community, myself included in that. So what the generic background is that they should have one smoke alarm installed per level of house. So if you've got a bungalow, one smoke alarm in your hall, one smoke alarm fitted in the area that you mostly spend most of your time in. So suppose it was your lounge or your living room, in there, a linked heat alarm which is fitted into your kitchen, and all of these three tools will interlink. So if one goes off, they all go off. So it's generally giving you the most up-to-date protection within the home. The standalone alarms just now that are fitted to most properties, if it goes off in the bedroom or it goes off in the living room, it doesn't generate the rest of the house. So you suppose you could be in your kitchen and you have a small fire in your living room, it will activate and alert you. Moving forward, if you've got a house with 2 floors, you should have a detector on the ground floor hallway and the upper floor landing. And then same again, in the one room that you spend most of your time in. You might be lucky enough to have a home with a family room where you spend most of your time, one fitted in there, and obviously the heat alarm, which only detects temperature, not smoke, in the kitchen. And it will, suppose the alarm goes off upstairs, it will alert you downstairs as well. It's there purely for your protection. But the one thing that we have noticed, and we have come across a number of inquiries, and I hasten to say it was in the East Renfrewshire area. There are a number of companies out there, and I'm not going to endorse anyone particular, but that have tried to prey on the vulnerable within the community by advertising, we'll fit this, we'll do this, to your home. You need to make sure that if you require these new linked smoke alarms, that you get a trusted trader, and you if in any doubt, you contact the fire service and we'll give you the best advice. That being said, we are fitting linked smoke alarms, but the criteria that house owners need to adhere to is it needs to be an owner occupied, and it needs to be a high risk individual or family. And the high risk individual is determined through a risk rating form that we complete, and it gives us a matrix scoring system which allows us to build up a picture of that home. And suppose anybody in this audience just now was to come across there, those 2 criteria, we would most certainly fit the linked smoke alarms that we've got, that we have been given from the Scottish Government free of charge. But that is the criteria, owner occupied or a high risk. Now, moving on, there may be folk there that are in letted property or landlorded property or local authority property. It is up to each individual landlord or letting that their responsibility to maintain that level of safety within the homes. That being said, we have yet again come across a number of landlords, no names, no pack drills, that have tried to get out of it by getting each individual house to make the inquiry for the detectors, but the landlord is they're not fulfilling their requirements as a landlord, so they're putting the onus back onto the home occupier. Yet again, I will reiterate, if you require any further advice, not necessarily during this meeting or after the meeting, but in that month's time, please don't hesitate to contact the fire service. Don't obviously not contact 999, but you contact the local fire station near you, be it Barrhead or Clarkson, and we're more than happy to come out and give you advice over the phone or face to face. So that is pretty much it. I mean, I don't want to bombard you with all the requirements of the smoke alarm. The smoke it's there for your safety, and it's if you've ever any doubt, you just contact the local fire station if you've got any questions at all. And like I said, it's coming in. The legislation comes in February next year. So something that everybody needs to be aware of. Two questions I often get asked: will it affect my insurance? Well, I'm not quite sure about that. But one other thing, I would think the only time it will affect if you own your own property will be when you go to sell your property, whether it will be intimated in your home report when that gets completed, whether that, if you've not got an interlinked smoke alarm, will that have a bearing on the valuation of your home report? We're not so sure. Nobody's able to give us a definitive answer for that. But that is it for me, and I'm more than happy for anybody if they want to ask me any questions at all, or guidance, or anything at all. Anything at all.
Okay, John, I'll maybe ask a couple first of all. So by high risk individuals, what do you mean by that, really?
High risk individuals, it could be a person, well, their age obviously, do they smoke in the home, have they mobility issues, what is the condition of, the internal condition of the home, do they have any underlying health conditions, i.e. I think it's COPD, or do they use oxygen within the home? All these variants can add to building up a picture within a home, but it all gets scored in a risk matrix way, Claire.
Okay, and if you live with someone with these conditions, would that's factored in? That's absolutely factored in. Okay. Even though the husband might be fine, but his partner or his wife might have health conditions. That's they're seen as a team within a home, so they need to be protected. Okay. So people that have had alarms installed by Telecare in the past, yes, they then redo them for people in that situation, or they should be. That's something that Telecare will factor in. Okay. The system that we're fitting won't link in. Our system is Bluetooth. It works through Bluetooth. Okay. Telecare is slightly different, but they don't marry into each other. It's not like the two systems can link into each other. Okay. The system that the fire service are fitting is strictly for the issue that we've got. There are other suppliers out there, B&Q, Screwfix. I mean, it's not, and it is a very simple way to install it. And also, what I would say, and I don't doubt for a second I'm talking to the converted here, but if you were to think about fitting it yourself, or have concern about fitting it for yourself, the care and repair operating within your area, and sorry for that, and they'll provide a service, a low cost, considerably low cost than some of our business partners. Okay. And again, you have to meet a certain criteria for care and repair, I think. That's correct, yes. Yeah. I can find that out and send it to people. A carer actually was speaking to me about it yesterday, and they said that there's an app that you can get on your phone to test alarms, if, say, you are mobility problems and you can't reach to test it? Is there an app that you can have on your phone that you can?
Not to my knowledge. No. Excuse me a second.
That's okay.
Not to my. I've not seen that. Generally, the way you test an alarm is by operating it physically.
Yeah.
You know, I know. I appreciate the majority of all detectors are up in the ceiling, and they're not the easiest of places to get. But a broom handle or a cane will press it and it tests it, and it allows you to test the system to make sure it works.
Okay. And this is probably a silly question. If you've got currently fairly new alarms, how do you know if they're interlinked? Just by testing them, I suppose, as you say?
By testing them, because if you test it, they all should go off at the same time.
Right.
The newer build houses since 2005, I believe, they have hardwired interlinked alarms.
Okay.
But if you've got, if you add another detector onto your system, then it will mean raglan walls, raglan ceilings to put cabling through, or do you fit a new system, that doesn't require any disruption to the fabric of the internal the property. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's there for your safety, and it's not. It's a small price to pay. It's a small price to pay. But that's not to say that a lot of people, we are starting to install more and more to premises throughout East Renfrewshire, of people who've made inquiries and will come out, will do the risk rating, and then they're owner occupied and they're high risk. We've got the facility and the tools and the materials to fit them.
Installing, great.
Charged, yeah.
And the carbon monoxide, doesn't have to be linked.
No, the carbon, that's the only. The carbon monoxide, it should obviously be situated A beside your boiler or B beside your gas fire, but they're not interlinked because they're detecting a different gas. It's carbon monoxide, which is they did call it a way back the silent killer, because you can't. There is no smell. There is no. It's only detected by the achieving of the atmosphere through the carbon monoxide detector.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Open to anyone else now that wants to ask a question. Go ahead.
Yep. Morning, John. Sorry, Maureen. I'm sorry, Moira. I was late coming into this. I'm sorry if it's already been answered. Is Alzheimer's classed as a high risk?
I would say it really depends. I would say yes, but it all depends upon the scoring matrix, Marion. By the time we go through an 18-question questionnaire, and it brings up a scoring system. Alzheimer's, off the top of my head, I couldn't say to you because I don't know the makeup of the rest of the questions. If you get my drift, the question to bring up the Alzheimer's, do you suffer from any underlying health conditions? Yes. Well, that obviously, brings up the scoring rating.
Yeah. And we just contact the nearest fire brigade.
Well, no,
fire brigade anymore.
I would say, my personal opinion, you're not the first group, you most certainly won't be the last group I'm speaking to regarding this very same. I am more than happy, if you have any questions or if you would like a visit, to use my team's email address, and I'll pass it on to Claire, and it means that not just one individual's responsible. If you were to send your details to Claire or Mark, whoever is your main point of contact, and then they were to pass the details on to my team email address, it means one of my team will pick it up.
Okay.
Rather than you go to the hassle of phoning a fire station, because they might not be in, they might be out answering calls, whereas a member of my team should pick up, a message.
Okay, thank you.
No bother.
Good
morning, John. Moira here.
Hi, Moira.
I already had linked ones in, and they all went off at the one time. Obviously, they're dead. So my brother took it down in the other day there, and of course you can't replace the battery. So I'm sitting here with nothing at the moment.
Wow.
I'm disabled, and There's no way I can put anything up.
Right. That is a concern to me, Moira. So much a concern. Would you mind, see at the end of this meeting, I know you were saying you're leaving early, aren't you, Moira?
I'm going to optician.
You're going to opticians. Could I maybe get your contact details, because that is a concern to me.
Yeah, yes, that's fine. I'll be.
Do you want to give them over this? Or
yes, that's fine. What do you need?
Yeah, well, your name first, Moira.
Fraser.
Fraser, right.
I was just thinking, do you want me, because this is recorded,
I know, right.
Would you want just for me to pass it on? Are you okay, Moira,
yes,
for
please,
me to
that's
pass
fine,
it on to
Claire.
John?
That's absolutely fine, yes.
The recording is going to be on the website, so I don't want to
no,
give out your phone number to everyone in the world.
No, that's fine. Thanks, Claire.
No
Moira, if you can make sure that Claire sends me your name, your details, your address and your contact number, we will be in touch and we'll get something. Are you in this afternoon, Moira?
Yes, I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if I can get Claire to send me your details today, we'll be in contact this afternoon, Moira, and we'll get something sorted. Because that is a concern to me.
That's very good of you. I've never had to do things for myself before, so
well, listen, Moira, there's no harm. We're here to help. We're all here as a team together, aren't we? We're all a big, massive team. You know, we're all here to help you, and that's why we're here. But I'll get the details off of Claire, and I'll make contact with you.
Thank you very much indeed, John Paul.
No problem, Moira.
Thank you.
Anyone else
got questions?
Yeah.
Bob Blair here, John.
Hi, Bob.
The fire service. I've had a preliminary look at the fire alarms, but what you were saying is you're fitting, if people meet the criteria, items from got from the Scottish Government. But looking at some of the fire alarms, and there is a problem. We have a problem as well. We're arguably vulnerable people, or unarguably vulnerable people. But there is a problem in sort of kind of getting up to testing. But I noticed there was actually a control box that you could stick on the wall on linked alarms and test the alarms. Have you come across anything like that?
I have. That's hardwired alarms, Bob. That's alarms that are together.
No, I'm cheating here, John. I'm actually sitting looking at a page for. I'm not going to name the company, but and they've got a fire alarm system, and it's radio linked. They've got a radio module.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, I mean, the thing about the testing is it's all very well and good. I've not seen that, to be honest with you, but like I said at the onset of my chat, there are companies out there that are going to be a wee bit naughty with their, and prey on the vulnerable, shall we say? And first and foremost, Bob, what I would say is, if you've got any doubts, any questions, any concerns, contact the fire service.
Right. Okay. I mean, I'll tell you, they look a fairly reputable company. They're not. They look like a national organisation that are offering these things, and they've got all sorts of stuff on offer. They're not even offering to fit them. It's just what's available. And I thought a remote control, because that is always a problem when alarms go off. You've got to wave newspapers and hit them with brushes and God knows what of you.
I don't know if this. I don't mind sharing this with you guys, but this is the documentation. Now it's just the heading, right? It's just the documentation, the advice we're giving out to, the community. Okay. Now, the next bit of paper I'm going to show you was distributed in your area by a company, and if you look at the paper in it and the colouring,
completely different.
They're very similar to that's the government one. That's a company one. Same colour, same kind of design.
It looks like they're at it,
So we need to be careful and I want to make sure that everybody in the community is protected, but not exploited.
Right.
And if you have any concerns, anybody, please don't hesitate to contact the fire service, or pass your details on to Claire, and Claire can get in contact with a member of my team.
Right, thank you.
Any other
John
questions?
Paul, we have a fire brigade alarm at the moment, but it's not connected. What happens to that if it changeovers? We've got one of your fire alarms.
Yes, yeah. That was obviously before.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you two questions, Rita. Are you an owner occupied?
Yes.
Do you think you would be high risk?
My husband's high risk. My husband's got dementia plus mobility problems as well.
Right. Well, I suggest that you do the exact same as what Moira's going to be doing. Pass your details on to Claire, pass them on to a member of my team, and we'll come out and we'll get we'll do the risk rating, but I would imagine you'll come up and tick in those two boxes, Rita.
Right.
And we'll get the linked alarms fitted into your property.
Okay, that's great.
Hello there, Joe Hunter. I'm sorry,
Hi, Joe.
I wasn't able to come in at the beginning. Can you just give me the rundown, the basics of what we're talking about?
Absolutely, Joe. The legislation kicks in February 2022.
Right.
And it's based on the premise of what happened at Grenfell. We're trying to make sure that detection within the home is all linked, so that regardless of where in your house you are, the alarm goes off. Whether it goes off in the kitchen and you're in your living room, you get detection to alert you, to make you aware of something's happening in your home. The rule of thumb is that we use a linked smoke alarm to your hallway, which links into the room that you use most often. If you use your living room most often, or if you're lucky enough to have a family room, an alarm's installed in there, and also a linked heat alarm fitted in your kitchen, which will only go off at the rising temperatures. So that is if you've got say a bungalow or a first floor property, and Joe, so
I have an alarm. I have an alarm at the moment.
Right.
And if it goes off, it's so loud you can hear it outside the house.
Right, that's good.
I mean, trying to get it. It's the most annoying thing when it gets off.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, on two counts, Joe, it's there to alert you, and I appreciate it's annoying, but it's there to alert you that something's happening within your home, and also suppose you're not in the house, or suppose it gives other people an indication sign, and it is there. Do you know what makes it go off, Joe? What makes it go off?
It's in the hall.
Right.
And I had a wee problem in the kitchen.
You need to go to cooking school.
I did.
No, well, what I would suggest is, if you have any concerns, yet again, I'll revert back to, I'm more than happy to pick it up, your information, if you're happy enough to share it with Claire and send it on to my email address, my team's email address, and we'll pick it up. We'll come out, give you a visit, give you advice. Maybe it might be something as simple as closing your door in your kitchen.
Right.
Which will prevent smoke from travelling along the corridor, Joe. Yeah. Or go back to cooking school.
Well, the alarm is so sensitive. I mean, it was.
Well, me personally, I would rather they were sensitive than they didn't work. And they're all varying degrees of sensitivity, and it proves one thing, that it does work, and that that for me is quite a reassuring fact, Joe.
Just seems overkill to me, to be honest, but there you are.
Well, but let's say if you've got any concerns or any questions, I'm more than happy to get my team involved and realise it. I mean, I don't know if you live in the Barhead or the Clarkson area. I'll get the local crew to come out and have a chat with you.
Okay,
or a member of my team.
Well, thank you.
No problem, Joe. Any other questions?
Could I ask, it's Marie here.
Hi, Marie.
I've been looking over the weekend, certain shops for buying these, and they're all just the current ones that we've got just now, the old style. Where's the kind of best place to purchase them? Know that we are getting a good one.
Marie, I can't endorse places.
I know that.
Right. But first and foremost, are you looking for them for your own property?
Yes,
Right. I mean, what me personally, I would suggest you maybe come out and carry out a visit and maybe do some sort of risk rating. I mean, are you owner occupied, Marie?
Yes.
Right. So you tick one of the boxes. Would you come out as a high risk? I don't know your personal circumstances. We're not going to discuss that just now. But you possibly might be entitled to the free smoke alarms that we're able to fit and install into your property. But what I will say, I'll go back to the original point. I do know that B&Q and Screwfix do supply them.
Right.
But before you go down that avenue, who do you call? And don't say Ghostbusters. You call the fire service. Not 999. I hasten to add, but if you wanted, like your local station, or as I mentioned it earlier on, you pass it through Claire, and I'm more than happy to pick it up, and a member of my team will be in touch, and we'll have a wee discussion and hopefully guide you, Marie. I like your backdrop, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice. Is that Gay Paris?
I've no idea.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, you mentioned this is Jean here.
Hi,
Jean. You mentioned hi there about your system using Bluetooth. Does that mean we have to have something in the house to access Bluetooth? I don't know how these things work. I've only got to Wi-Fi.
No, Bluetooth works off its own power supply.
Right. Okay. That's good. Thank you.
It's very easily installed, and that's what the majority of them all are like. They work off the Bluetooth. They send a signal from one to another and questions like that. Jean, my team are more than happy to answer, or your local fire station are more than happy to answer those questions.
Yeah. I'll probably get Claire to pass on our details anyway, so we can.
That's absolutely smashing, Jean.
Great, thank you.
Well, went all quiet. We went all quiet.
Got another question. I'm just trying not to hold it, John. I've got my boiler, my gas boiler is actually a cellar, and we've got a gas fire in the living room. Would that mean 2 carbon monoxide alarms?
Yes, one beside your boiler and one beside your gas fire.
Okay, thank you.
That was an easy answer. Anybody get any questions? Any more questions? There's no such thing as a silly question. I think there's something making up there.
I was just going to ask if you were to. Sorry, can you hear me? So if you were to go ahead and buy.
Sorry, the sound really bad. Gentlemen,
don't know if you can hear me. I just wondered if hardwired detectors can be adjusted and changed to be interlinked.
Hardwired alarm.
We have 2 hardwired ones already in Hall and Landing, and I just wondered if they can be changed to be interlinked ones.
The system would need to be changed, Gillian.
Right.
You need to change the whole system. That's the unfortunate thing. If you've already got hardwired, you've got cabling running through your ceilings and down your walls. That can't be removed. Well, it can be removed at a cost and obviously a bit of mess. But your new system is totally separate, Gillian.
That's right. Okay. Thank you.
Eileen, I think maybe you had a question. Were you speaking?
No, Claire, I wasn't. I was just a bit disappointed because I did phone the fire brigade and care and telecare a couple of months ago, and at that point they couldn't offer any problem about installations. And I've now contacted an electrician who's coming out to the house in a couple of weeks to look at what I need. Right. So I feel as if I've missed the boat somewhere.
So
but, I have actually an alarm system that attached to my house alarm.
Right.
And I thought that all they needed to do was upgrade it, but the man said that the wiring was not powerful enough and he's not qualified to upgrade it. So that's why I contacted an electrician.
Right.
Who's coming out to look at the thing in a couple of weeks.
Right. Okay. I can't comment about care and repair, but certainly I would imagine because it's linked to your alarm system, your house alarm, it's quite a complicated, and it will use a lot of electricity, a lot of power, a lot of wattage to keep that going, Eileen. But that is, that's disappointing to hear. If you get somebody to come out and have a look, and as I've said to the rest of the group, if you've you want any advice or guidance or anything like that, please don't hesitate to contact your local fire station if you want them just to come out, or a member of my team, Eileen.
Thank you. It's just that I did want to get this dealt with because I thought if I delay, then everybody will be wanting it, at the last minute.
Yeah.
I think I was just ahead of myself, but I'm hoping that I'll see what this man says when he comes out to look at the house.
I know Claire's recording this, but I don't mind sharing this with you. I've only got 6 months to go before I retire, but my own personal opinion is I think we're over egging the pudding a wee bit here. We're trying to look at, and I don't think that advert in television's Health Matters, it's quite grey. It's not given a clear and concise instruction. But that's my opinion.
Well, a lot of people are only doing it because they feel that it might affect their house insurance if they don't get it done.
I know.
But
it'll only affect your house insurance, Eileen, if something happens in your house.
Yes, I know. And the thing is that I want the minimum of disruption, and I think the rest of us here are all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Because we can't do with the house being all disrupted.
So, what just if you don't mind sharing this with me, but is that your request that you want the house alarm linked to the smoke alarm?
No, that's what I've got already.
Yeah, but is that the requirement you want for the upgrade?
Not necessarily.
Right, okay.
I thought we could just get one. I thought if you got one smoke alarm hardwired, then the other ones would speak to each other via Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't need any other wiring.
Yeah.
I want the minimum of fuss.
Exactly. No, absolutely. So I would get guidance from your electrician, and then if you seek further guidance regarding, I can't obviously comment about your own property, Eileen, but there must be a solution to this problem. There must be.
The system we've got is a lower voltage. It's only I don't know, 120 or something compared with 200 odd, the new system, and it's been working for over 30 years perfectly effectively. And I just feel it's unfortunate that I have to go down the line of getting another.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
other alarm.
I totally agree with you.
I want something that has got as little disruption as possible.
Right. That's a bar you've set that that hopefully needs to be met, Eileen. But let's say if you've got any concerns, please don't hesitate to ask Claire to pass on your details to myself or contact your local station, Eileen.
Would it not be too, sorry, Eileen, would it not be too late just to cancel the electrician and go down the route of being in a high risk? You're in the high risk category, really, your household.
Well, I need to think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Any other questions for anyone? No.
Very quiet for Tuesday.
I'm pretty sure, John, you'll answer any questions. If people think of questions after this is finished, they can email me and I can forward it on to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, yep.
I was wondering if you would pass on my name and phone number to
John Paul. John Paul.
John Paul.
John.
Till I get them. There's things here. I have alarms and different. I would just want to know if they could be linked or whatever. I wouldn't mind a visit from
James, absolutely. Claire will pass on all your details if that's okay, and we'll get that sorted.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, James.
Everyone that's asked for their details to be passed on, could you email me, please? Because I've forgotten who wants to and who doesn't. If you email me your details, then I'll pass them on to John. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I have to go now, but thank you very much for your presentation, John Paul. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eileen. You take care.
Later, Eileen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, again, yeah, thanks very much, John. I thought it was really, really helpful. Lots of useful information there.
Thanks, folks.